In this section, I'm going to be talking about dates. Here we have a date range set from January 1st, 2021 to January 31st, 2021. There's also a data type here called DateTime65, and you can see this letter D. That D represents the frequency of the date range. In this case, it's set to days. When I run it, you can see that it goes up to the 30th. So we can see a common pattern. If we set the range to a specific number, like 31, we'll get 31 minus 1. We've seen this pattern repeat itself quite a few times. Another thing to point out is that these are strings. Usually, when working with NumPy ranges, and we'll look at more examples later, the input may be a string, but it's interpreted as a date. I want to make that distinction because a range can handle string base date inputs. If we change the frequency D to W, we would get weekly dates. And if I add another month, we would get monthly dates. For instance, if I set the end date to March, we'll get 2 months in that range. Again, this happens because it takes the total number of elements minus 1. So at the end of March, we get a range that includes February. Just make a note of that pattern. Now, we can also work with date arithmetic. Date arithmetic means we can add or subtract days, weeks, or months from a given date. For example, if we add 5 days to January 1st, we get January 6th. If we add 5 weeks, we get February 5th, which is 5 weeks after January 1st. However, if we try to add 1 month directly, it won't work properly because of a type mismatch. You'll see an error saying something like, cannot cast ufunc_add from input type. That's because the value types must match. If we're working with days, we need to add days. If we're using NumPy time deltas, the types have to align. Now, let's talk about working with time differences. When working with time differences, we use NumPy's DateTime64 just like before. We set 2 dates and then subtract them. This gives us the number of days between those dates. The idea is that you can easily find how many days are in a particular range or between 2 dates. This is useful since each month can have a different number of days. Next, we're moving on to set operations. Set operations are quite useful. You might remember Venn diagrams. They help visualize common or unique elements between 2 sets. The same concept applies here. We can find what elements 2 arrays share using an intersection. For example, using NumPy's intersect1D, we can find common elements between 2 arrays. If one array has the elements 1, 3, 4, 5, and another has 3, 4, 5, and 1, the common elements are 1, 3, 4, and 5. If we include return indices equals true, we can also get the indices of these shared elements in both arrays. For instance, in the first array, element 1 is at index 0, 3 is at index 2, 4 is at index 3, and 5 is at index 4. In the second array, those shared elements appear at different indices, which are also returned. Now, for differences, we use setDiff. This returns elements that are unique to the first array, meaning elements that exist in array A, but not in array B. For example, if array A has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and array B has 1, 3, 4, 6, then 5 is not in array B. So it's returned as the difference. We can also extract unique elements from both arrays using setXOR1D. This returns all elements that are in either array A or array B, but not in both. So if 2 and 3 are not in B, and 6, 9, and 36 are not in A, it will return 2, 3, 6, 9, and 36. Finally, using Hunyan, we can combine both arrays and return all shared elements, but only once. It doesn't repeat any element that appears in both arrays. Each shared value appears a single time. That's it for now. In the next section, we'll be talking about vectorized operations.